So we have an update on the XL bully ban of what they're going to classify as an XL bully in terms to the ban and how they're going to go forward with it. And if you've paid attention to it and you've read it, then you'll know that it's an absolute load of dog shit. Absolute load of dog shit. The only measurement that they've given is height of the withers, and I think it was something like 20 inch for the females, 22 inch for the males at the wither height, and then everything else is all characteristic and how they look, about stature, how they stand, like shoulder width, snout length and stuff like that, and the big blocky classic bully head and stuff like that, and all these things that they put in it. So it's all cosmetic, and hardly any of it is actual measurement as to what an XL bully is going to be. So literally the way they've gone about it is literally just put any bull breed above a certain height is going to fall into a type category. Makes it a hell of a lot easier then, less work. So they've done an absolute piss poor job of trying to figure out what it is. So anything over a certain height is pretty much fucked at this point. Like, you'll still Cane Corsos, your big bull mastiff breeds, they all fall into the type depending on how they look and the breeding, because they all fall over a certain height, so they can still get categorized as a type. So in a minute I will put up the list of what they're asking for over the screen, so you can just have a quick look at it and see it while I'm blabbing on. But what they've done is absolutely shocking. Like, how do they, I'm gonna move it this side. How do they expect people to go about it? And this is like, so they've come at this at a point right now, basically they're saying that they have to be on an exemption list. You have to put them on an exemption list, because if you don't, by the end of the ban date, when the ban comes into place, that they could literally just seize them for absolutely no reason. Absolute dog shit. And then they've got to be on a muzzle at all times. Right, now fair enough, I mean, most dogs probably should be muzzle trained at some point, just for conditioning, just if they ever needed to have one, if they had to go to the vets for whatever reason and they had to be muzzled, it wasn't uncomfortable for them. I'm not completely against like muzzle training a dog, or muzzle, oh shit, popping a muzzle on dog if it's needed. But if it's not needed, then it's just one of those. And then on leash at all times. On leash at all times. What does that even mean? Like, what the fuck is that? So we have an issue at the moment with dogs not getting exercised properly. Dogs that don't get exercised properly tend to have behavioural issues. I know for a fact that when I have a dog that has behavioural issues, not necessarily like reactive issues, but like separation anxiety issues and things like this. If I can get them out on a good back walk with me, give them a good run, they tend to be a little bit more settled. After a few weeks, they tend to settle down. Energy management. So what we're doing now is we've got an issue with dog behaviour, and the dogs that apparently seem to be falling under the big dog behaviour category is the bully breeds, because of obviously the ban and everything that's kicking off, that we've decided to keep them on lead so they can't actually get exercised properly. Insurances have allowed people to hire out pens on a one-to-one basis, only one dog allowed in there at a time. And again, that's just requiring people to hire out pens to exercise the dogs. What dogs need is that. What they need is to be up here in the moors, running around like madheads, getting all the exercise, using the noses, scenting, all that sort of work, all that sort of things is what needs to be done. And asking them to keep them on lead at all times in the way to go about it. So you're going to end up with dogs that aren't properly exercised, and then they're going to end up with more behavioural issues, and it's going to lead to more issues. It's like, how can they not see this? Quite clearly the people that have put this ban in place know fuck all about dogs. They're just going to create more issues. And not only that, banning a breed doesn't work. We've tried this in the past. We've tried different Dobermans, Rottweilers, Sheppies, all these and pit bulls and stuff like this. They're obviously still on the ban breed list, but we've tried this. It doesn't work, because these people that tend to poorly breed these dogs and poorly look after them and treat them don't give a shit about dogs. They'll just move to a different breed and exploit a completely different breed. So, yeah, there, kiddo. So we'll just end up with the same issue with a different fucking breed. It's absolutely insane. Once we start we need to put more of a regulation on people than we do an actual breed. And I know a lot of people will probably say in like comments, and I've had it in other posts as well, where they say it's all about how you raise them. It is to a degree, but do not disregard genetics. If you get, unfortunately, a bully that people have bred for fighting and bred with really poor temperament and bad breeding just in general, because these people only care about the money side of things, then unfortunately genetics is going to play a role, and it could lead to more problem behaviours. Obviously how you raise them does help if you treat them kind and stuff like that, but I have known dogs that have been treated nice throughout their entire life and then just like snapped at another dog or person or kid, and there were no signs. And we say there should be signs. The dog would never do it for no reason, but sometimes it does happen, unfortunately. Oh, let's check these. Zebras! Good girl. See what she was doing there, little bastard. She was thinking about going. Little turd. But yeah, back to what I was saying, is that you're going to end up with problem behaviours. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. And again, it comes down to bad breeding and people being allowed to do backyard breeding. There were a person local to me, had 2 bullies, and they were planning on breeding off them because we knew somebody that lived on the street, and this dog was reactive to people. It pulled towards dogs and snarled like a dick. And I had it on good word that when they were in the window, they used to shout like, get him, get him, get him. And the dog were going mental. And they were planning on breeding off this, and it was just going to be in a backyard or a fucking council estate. You're just going to end up with shared dogs. And I know that sounds unfair to the dog, but you're going to end up with some shared dogs if they're learning these sort of behaviours. It's wild. Like, if you ever go to pick up a puppy, this is just general rule for any bloody breed. If you go to pick up a puppy, go look at the parents. Go look at the parents of these dogs and the owners, and just make sure they're displaying the kind of behaviours that you're going to want to see from them. Huge advice. No, huge tip. What's up, Benj? So yeah, back to the government ban. What a load of pish. What a load of pish. Yeah, they're just going to end up with more behaviours. More behavioural issues on this ban. And it's just how they can actually not give any measurements whatsoever. So my mother-in-law, she's got an American bully, or a bully mix. There's a few different bits in there looking at it. And she has no idea where they got it from. Answering parents. Somebody else picked it up for them. But it is what it is. I had no involvement in that. And now, unfortunately, because of the breed and the measurements and stuff like that, she's going to have to be muzzle trained and on lead at all times. Now, this is a dog with super high energy as well. I mean, I've been out with her plenty of times, and she's just bonkers. She's going to need exercise. And if she's not going to be able to get that just in a pen, it's a little bit unfair. And it has to be one-to-one. So they don't get that dog-on-dog interactions. Which, again, is going to create social issues with other dogs. It's unfortunate, but it's the way it is. So let's move on to probably the worst part of this entire ban, which is absolutely disgusting, is that the government are offering people £200 towards euthanasia of their dog. Now, no self-respected person would take that bet, but it's almost like the government are trying to force their hand. No off-lead time, muzzle trained all the time, can't get off lead. Not allowed to do this, one-on-one, no dog-on-dog interaction, public liability insurance. It's almost like they're trying to force their hand, like they want rid of the breed. It's disgusting that they've offered this. And if I read it right, they're offering charity centres £100 as well towards the cost of the euthanasia. Because obviously, when the ban comes in place, you can't fucking rehome them, can you? can't let them go anywhere. There'll only be certain kennels that'll be insured or want to be insured to take them on. We'll get onto the professional side of things in a sec. Bloody sun's in my eyes. They're offering euthanasia £100 towards the cost of it in centres. So obviously, like I say, you can't rehome them. So what do you do with them? Rescue centres what? Take them if you do need to get rid of them. I'm telling you now, they're just going to fucking put them down. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm telling you now. They say they won't, but I can tell you now, a lot of them are just full of shit, and I can guarantee you that some of them will just do it. They'll just take that £100 and get rid of them. So all of these healthy dogs will just get put down because they just can't bloody rehome them, and it's unfair, it's disgusting. So let's get on to the professional side of things. So me as a professional dog walker and trainer at times apparently, I can only work with them one-on-one as a dog walker. No pack walks, one-on-one. There are some people out here that do one-on-one, but whether they want to take a big power breed like a bully on, probably not, because a lot of them already do not take them on for this reason. Because unfortunately they do have the tendency, without warning, just to snap at other dogs. I've seen it happen, and it's happened many times. Not all of them, but some of them do. Well, so do all dogs. But yeah, I can only take one-on-one. I know as a business model, that's not viable unless you charge a stupid amount. Which is unfortunate because people don't want to have to pay the stupid amount. And again, if we take them out, where do we take them? Because me lead walking a dog for an hour is no good. People pay me an hour to do that with them. Off-lead moorland exploring walks. So, what do? Bring them up here just for an hour? Now, bullshit. So I don't know about borders. Borders, I think they've categorised it that they can be insured, but whether they will want to be or not, I don't know. Not something I've looked into personally, because it's the boarding side doesn't really affect me because I'm not a boarder. But yeah, you're forcing the hands of professionals as well as to limitations that we can get on. Now, when I've read through it, dog on lead at all times, right? This might be cheeky. It doesn't actually state what fucking size lead you need. I've got a 20 metre long line. Does that count? Still a lead. They're still on lead, and if they're muzzled, still under control. What are you doing? Get him. Yeah, they're still on a long line, still on lead, they're still under control. That's probably your best bet at this point. But in regards to the entire ban, I won't worry about it too much if your dog doesn't look like an XL bully. Like, I walk a Mastiff. She's a brindle dog. She's absolutely gorgeous, super nice temperament. No doubt in my mind that she would rip a dog's head off if it needed to. Super nice dog though. Now, because of the measurements and the type, she possibly could technically fall into that thing. But she's a bull Mastiff. So, and like even say, Canicorsos will fall under the type, but they're a Canicorso, and we look at them as such. We have a pit bull ban in place, and if you look at the measurements for the pit bulls, Staffordshire Bull Terriers and Staffies, they fall within the pit bull type measurements. But we still look at them as Staffies and not pit bulls. We look at pitties as pitties and Staffies as Staffies. So, in that regard, some people probably don't need to worry about it as much. I would say just be a little error on the side of caution. Because like I said, we view pit bulls as pit bulls and Staffordshire Bull Terriers as such, but they still fall under the categorisation and the type measurements for the pit bull. Same will happen with this ban as well. American XL Bully will have a measurement type. Canicorsos, because they are bigger and look similar in some ways, not the Canicorsos as such, but the other breeds, the other Bull Mastiff breeds will fall under to the type. Same thing will happen, but we will still see them breeds as such breeds. And I will still walk them breeds as such breeds. If their papers, which you do need to have in a life certificate, if their papers say that they are Bull Mastiff, and that is what they are, then I will walk them as such. No need for muzzles or long lines, or rides or all. I will still walk them in groups, because that is what it is as such. So yeah, a little bit of an update, a little bit of a rant, but I think it's all just disgusting. And the absolute kicker is the fact that they're offering money. Shows they ain't got a fucking clue what they're doing, as usual. Right, that's it, walk over. See you later, puppies. Bye, pups. See you later.